in time is a role model.
He's the person that we can follow.
View him as a man who has a vision for his state.
One of the best governors so far.
He's really doing the job.
He's done so much.
He's not the past man.
It's a bridge way. Oda, Opeleke.
Since Tode Tibiwa, I will really.
Ogun, a state undergoing redefinition.
Many of us born in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, a flyover bridge in the heart of the city would probably have been imagined or considered a difficult task, especially for someone like me who schooled around here. Today, this iconic 2.4-kilometer structure is standing on one of Ogun State's most strategic roads. Thanks for joining us on Ogun, a state undergoing redefinition. I am Adetunji Adeteye. As a journalist, I'm on a mission to find out what went into the construction of this bridge, its economic relevance to the state, and its impact on road users. In fact, what are the people really saying about this bridge? Or am I the only one curious here? Before now, when people wanted to describe Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, they would fondly say it was an ancient city. This was not because the city is almost 183 years old, or perhaps its history could not fit well into modern civilization. It's because it maintained the status of the 19th century with decayed infrastructure and neglect on its development. Major roads in the city were not just narrow, they were also in bad state, and there seemed to be a scarce will by its past leadership to bring the city to modernization. This neglect had its toll on the socio-economic activities of the state and the welfare of the people at large. In 2010, the Ogun State Governor, Senator Amosun, decided to change the course of history. He took his message of development to the people of Ogun State. His promise was to rebuild the state and put it in the league of advanced economies, making it investors' destination of choice, not only in Nigeria, but sub-Saharan Africa.
When we were campaigning, we said we are on a rebuilding mission, really.
Abeokuta is perhaps the most populous town in Ogun State. It is popular for its tourist attraction, the Olumo Rocks. The tie and dye fabrics industry is also a major part of the city's economy. Considering its status, the need to solve the increasing traffic congestion and facilitate easy movement of goods and services in the city, Senator Amosun envisioned the flyover bridge at the popular Ibara roundabout, which was then a major traffic concern for the state. For many residents who had never imagined such a development, his idea of rebuilding Ogun State was received with an understandable cynicism. This is because many of them have only seen the Lafenwa Bridge across Ogun River, which links Lafenwa with Enugada area of Agoika. This bridge was constructed in 1956 to convey British Queen Elizabeth II across the river during a visit to Abeokuta. Upon his assumption of office in 2011, Governor Amosun moved to execute his plans of massive investment in the infrastructural development of the state.
We started with 5 cardinal programs, and the 5th one is infrastructural development that will lead us to create massive employment for our people, for our youth particularly.
One of his earliest efforts was the construction of the elaborate international standard 6-lane Ibara Totoro Road.
You see, empirically from all researches, it has been shown clearly that there can be no development, either in the area of education, health, agriculture, or what have you, when the infrastructures are not there.
To deliver roads that will stand the test of time, Governor Amosun and his team contracted the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation. For a government passionate about urban renewal and advancement of the state's economic frontiers, Governor Amosun decided to mark his 1 year in office by commissioning the road. The road came with modern features such as drains, median, green belt, walkway, modern bus stop, street lights, and pedestrian bridge with an air conditioner. But before the construction, many buildings around here had to give way. This came after months of enlightenment, appeal, and the assurance that the Ibikunle Amosun-led government would compensate property owners. I met a 77-year-old retired accountant, Afolabi Akintola. He lost 2/3 of his warehouse to the expansion project.
And the building is as far as...
He showed me where his facility used to be, but now all he has left is 1/3 of his warehouse.
On the compensation side, the government had the intention to compensate us, but some people living around here decided that they own the property. So they wrote a petition. So the government said, okay, until the petition is heard or until the court decides who owns the place, then they will now give us the money. So up to now we haven't got anything. But the matter is now in the court.
So, but that means you're not blaming government for not...
No. I'm not blaming government because everybody, the people here, they've got their own, and everybody else has got their own.
We was adequately compensated.
With the delivery of the 6-lane road, the Ogun State government did not take its foot off the accelerator. Governor Amosun and his team proceeded on their quest to making history. The first flyover bridge in the history of Ogun State was underway. Governor Amosun gave an 8-month deadline for the contractors to construct the flyover bridge. It was to be commissioned on the 24th of January 2013.
We want to make our state to be in that premier status that we've always been known for.
Morning and night, the engineers on site worked hard to meet the deadline. And in spite of his busy schedule, Governor Amosun on several occasions visited the construction site, putting the contractors on their toes and supervising the quality of work done. And on the set date, Governor Amosun and his team made history. The first flyover bridge since Ogun State was created in 1976 was unveiled.
I want to thank the governor for bringing Ogun State and the capital in particular from the 19th century to the 21st century.
The 4-lane bridge links Lalubu to Itaeko, Okeshokori, and Ibara Road. The bridge stands out as a touch of modernization with an accompanying aesthetics and brilliant landscaping. Those who visited Abeokuta 3 years ago would probably wonder what magic had happened.
Àwọn ọmọ wa tó wà ní Port Harcourt, tó wà l'Èkó, tó wà ní Ìbàdàn, ẹlòmíì tó bá wálé ó ń ṣìnà.
Governor Amosun continued his rebuilding mission in SAPON-ITOKU areas of Abeokuta South local government, where he constructed 2 other 6-lane flyover bridges. The Itoku Bridge is the longest of all the flyover bridges in Ogun State.
Ṣé rí iṣẹ́ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ yìí tí Governor wa Ibikunle Amosun tó ń ṣe yìí, ó jẹ́ number 1 in the history.
Ó tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn gan-an, mo fara mọ́.
A few minutes drive away from Itoku is the popular IYANA mortuary in Abeokuta. One major feature of this area before Governor Amosun's government was heavy vehicular congestion. Motorists could be trapped here for more than 20 minutes just trying to negotiate roads. To solve this problem, Governor Amosun resolved to build a flyover bridge in this area, making it the 4th bridge in the state capital.
Ogun State is going, is moving better. It's going to the next level.
Though the bridge is still under construction, but the few motorists I spoke with say the experience now is better when compared to what used to be.
I'm not a politician, but if the pace continues like this, in the next 3-4 years, Abeokuta will change.
Still in Ogun Central Senatorial District, We drove to the 40-kilometer Sango-Ijoko-Ojodo Abiodun Road. The stretch also has 2 bridges across rivers Yakoyo and Abuliyekun, and 3 flyovers at Ijoko, Agbado and Akute. Of important mention is the overhead at Agbado, which keeps motorists away from crossing the railway.
Ogun, a state undergoing redefinition.
I decided to visit the other 2 senatorial districts in Ogun State, and we stopped at Ogun East.
This flyover along the Benin-Ore-Shagamu Expressway is one of the many flyovers constructed by the Senator Ibikunle Amosun-led government in Ogun State. Before now, what used to obtain here is just a roundabout. Motorists had to struggle to find their way into Ijebu-Ode town. Most times, they wait for at least 5 minutes to allow traffic from Benin-Ore ease off before they can cross over.
I met Florence Olakiitan, an indigene who's been living here since she was a child. Ahead of me is the popular Lagos Garage flyover along Ejirin-Oluwalogun Junction, Ijebu-Ode. This bridge is another solution to an age-long traffic hassle. Before the flyovers were constructed, driving between Ijebu-Igbo, Irunwo roundabout and Benin-Ore Junction used to take 23 minutes. But today, these bridges have reduced travel time to just 9 minutes. This is a record travelers and residents of Ijebu-Ode will remember for a very long time.
He's really using the taxpayers' money for what the taxpayers will enjoy.
Since Amosun have done all these things, there is nothing like that again. We can walk freely, we can move freely. There is no sense of accident anyhow.
So far, I found out that Governor Ibikunle Amosun has constructed a total of 306.55 kilometers of roads and 16 flyovers across Ogun State in less than 4 years.
Governor Amosun is doing a very good thing to us in Ogun State.
Since 1976 that it has been created, we haven't seen any government that has done enough in terms of infrastructure.
Rome was not built in a day. So it is very good just to change the face of Ogun State.
For a man whose vision is clear about the state, Governor Amosun's sleeves are still rolled up, and serving his people remains his top priority.
I want to thank the goodwill of Ogun State. We are not taking their support for granted, really. Every day we work round the clock to make sure that, they say that, they have not misplaced the confidence that they have in us.
Ogun, a state undergoing redefinition.
While documenting my experience in Ogun State, I interacted with a lot of residents across its 3 senatorial districts. Apart from commending the state government, they also shared some of their worst fears with me. One of them is whether the Ibikunle Amosun-led government has abandoned the ongoing projects in the state given the seeming absence of engineers on site. I took this public concern and some others to the man whose office is directly responsible for all road constructions and infrastructure in Ogun State, Architect Olamilekun Adigbite, the Ogun State Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure. On arrival, he showed me the master plan for the SAPON-ITOKU road, and we immediately settled for business.
Our projects are not abandoned. Construction work, especially civil construction, slows down in the rains. Especially this year, we've had very heavy rains. If you do any artwork during the rains, you come back the following day, the rain has washed off. And that's a lot of money washed off. It's happened to us, even not just the contractors. The government has had to intervene on some roads to do what we call palliatives. You know, you go and grade a surface, you apply some stone base, you apply at times laterite, just to fill. Well, you see, you do that, immediately it rains that night. You come back the following morning, you ask yourself, was there any work done here? People are going to see a change. As soon as the rains are over, the contractor will mobilize fully back to site. They are there. As you see, in most places now, they are doing concrete work, which is not affected by rains.
With the number of ongoing capital projects in Ogun State, some residents also feared the state might soon run into some financial trouble. Is Ogun State government broke?
To say Ogun State is broke is a misnomer. We're not broke. Of course, every state has financial challenges. This is not something to hide. What we made from the Federation accounts, on a monthly basis, Ogun State is due for about 5.1 to 5.5 billion. At times when there's excess crude sharing, the money goes up to 6 billion or more. And with that, what the strategy we adopted, this government, was to say, look, dedicate the FAC account, that the money that comes from the Federation account, dedicate it to salaries. When you get about 5 billion from the federal government, you make 5 billion locally. You just need about 1.5 million to add to the FAC account, and then you pay your salaries, leaving you with about 3 to 3.5 billion to play with every month. With that kind of cash flow, the banks are on your tail. Every bank wants to give you money because that's good cash flow. You have 3.5 billion to play with every month. That means you can service any loan. From about February last year, to our dismay, they start having that drop from the FAC account. So it's not, that's why I said it's nothing to hide. When you say it's all states of the Federation now, and something that's coming from the federal government, the money started reducing. Your 5 becomes 4, it becomes irregular. Now, to the point that we get 2 billion a month. And one thing this governor has said is that salary is a must. If jobs will stop, we must pay salary. This is not an indictment of anybody. It's a factor that has come about with the failure of FAC, and that is what's happening.
Next on the comments of some indigents was why the state government resorted to awarding contracts to foreign contractors at the expense of local ones.
Civil construction is heavy, especially capital intensive when it comes to heavy equipment. A civil equipment in civil construction could cost you about 250 million, just one equipment and all that. So a lot of our local contractors are not present at that high level, and it's not peculiar to the state, it's to the Federation. Most of the major roads, go and look at it, who are the people doing it? They're the big ones. But you see, at the same time, what we've done locally is encourage our local contractors and give them some of the roads. The major highways, the bridges are being given to all these foreign contractors. Of course, this is something that's done through best procurement practices. We advertise in the newspapers without precluding the local contractors from quoting. But there are certain levels where local contractors can play, and we have them in Ogun State. At least some of the roads that have been done by local contractors. Even as we speak presently, there are about 3-4 of them that have been done by local contractors. You know, they're not the major highways. They're like the secondary ones. But they're doing that. They're proving their metal there. And that's giving them a chance to grow. Having said that, even these big foreign contractors, we've put a proviso in the contract to engage our local people so they can gain experience, learn on the job. And these are the people who in future might become entrepreneurs and start their own business as well.
Although the projects are all spread across the state, Adegbite said the administration's mission to rebuild Ogun State remains intact.
He has a lot of things to do in Ogun State, and he's ready for us. And we got to give him a chance.
He has really impressed people that can say reality. But many people don't understand what he is doing, because the difference is that people think Amosun have to be giving money to people so that they can hit it. Like other politicians will come, give them money, you know, give 1,000, they take 10,000. They share public taxpayers' money. But what Amosun is doing is not sharing taxpayers' money. He's really using the taxpayers' money for what the taxpayers we enjoy. But as time goes on, they will understand it.
We really appreciate what Amosun is doing, and we want him to please try more.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Amosun, ó bá ní ṣe bridge, ẹ dẹ̀ sẹ́ni an accident náà àwọn ọmọ ẹni, adúpẹ́ náà wọn.
Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ kún lápá kó bá wa ṣe tán.
Kẹ́mi ẹ̀ kó gùn, kọ́lọ́n kó dá ìyàwó ẹ̀ sí, kó dá ọmọ ẹ̀ sí, kó má rí wàhálà láyé.
Ogun, a state undergoing redefinition.
It's been a journey of discovery for me, looking at Ogun State, the gateway state, as it gets a facelift. Why not join me next time to look at other sectors of the Ogun State economy as Ogun State undergoes redefinition? And I will always be here to tell you the story. I am Adetunji Adeteye. Thanks for staying with us.